So here we go, right? Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his chilling, eye-opening warning on UAPs that hits closer to home than science fiction stories of little green men. There's a scene in the documentary that I find especially impactful where Marco Rubio talks about how a lack of imagination has historically led to all of the greatest intelligence failures and disasters, from Pearl Harbor to 9/11, and that he doesn't want that to happen again, Farrer told THR. He says in the film, we've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours, and we don't know whose it is. That alone deserves inquiry, deserves attention, and deserves focus. Unquote. Farrer equates that warning to the biggest attack on American history. Prior to 9/11, we didn't put enough money toward counterterrorism, and our intelligence agencies didn't share enough information. Unquote. He continued, quote, everyone looked back and said, we could have done this better. My interview subjects point out that we're now in a situation where that stigma around UAPs is creating hurdles for us to appropriately address this issue with a whole government approach. There's not the appropriate amount of funding going toward it, and there's not the appropriate amount of oversight. Farrer interviewed 34 current and former senior members of the U.S. government, military, and intelligence community on the record in his documentary, making it unique in that it puts names and recognizable faces like Rubio's in it. And I'm all for that. You know, I'm glad that movie was made. But this warning, is just kind of over the top for me, These beings have always been interacting with us with great restraint in the face of our aggression towards them. And I just find it like, come on, man. Really, this is what we're doing? I guess this is fair. Quote, I hope I made a film that makes the public aware of a very serious situation that impacts us all. I had multiple senators tell me that they thought my documentary would be one of the most effective tools for helping make the public aware of the truth in a way that could get the rest of the government to take this topic more seriously. Unquote. Now, maybe they're just doing this, right? Maybe Marco Rubio is just saying these things to kind of sound the alarm, not so much because he believes it to be true, but because maybe he thinks that this may be a good tactic for disclosure.